Welcome back, folks. All right. Let me put this up before we launch the game. As per usual. Go. Now I'm gonna try remembering where we left off. Yay, head pats.
Danganronpa.
Speak on! Rock on! Now we need options first. Way too loud. Go. Game. We're now investigating. Oh yeah, we're investigating the death of the unknown person at the moment. Leggy. Continue where we left off. Yes. Ah, yeah, we were examining everything in here. Do I have a problem if I were able to identify which game this was in the series from the first few notes of the opening? Nah. Now, I'm pretty sure they all have pretty distinct opening themes. I really hope there aren't any clues hidden in the fertilizer. There's something carved into the handle of this pickaxe. Crazy diamond. It's the same thing that was written on the back of Mondo's coat. This pickaxe is connected to Mondo somehow. It's definitely intriguing, but now's not the time to worry about it. Oh yeah, we have the tarp here. The top is wet and covered with mud and grime. But the underside, it's totally clean and completely dry. One side of the tarp is wet and dirty. Something about that bothers me. There's a lawnmower here. I don't think it has anything to do with the mystery corpse. These flower pots have nothing to do with the case. Everything? I think so, yeah. Okay. I think I've checked out everything I need to in this area, but I'm not done yet. There are other areas I need to check. Specifically, that fragment I found before. There's somewhere I need to go in order to confirm my suspicions. And I still need to find out more about Kyoko. Is that corpse really Kyoko? If that's true... Was that also Kyoko who attacked me last night? If I can find out more about her, maybe I can answer that question. Kyoko was never the kind of person to talk about herself all that much. Maybe if I can get into her room, I'll be able to find out more. But the key to her room...
It's all clear now.
I will simply limit your options. I can't allow you to engage in any further suspicious activity.
What?
Limit my options? Give me the key to your room. I don't have a choice. I have to see if he'll let me borrow her room key. Hey, Byakuya. If you do come up with an alibi, I'd be happy to hear it. Later, at the class trial. Oh no, it's not about that. You have the key to Kyoko's room, right? I was hoping I could borrow it. I'm afraid I can't take that risk. You're the prime suspect after all.
What?
Of course, if I were to go with you, that would be a different story. Then, will you go with me? Sorry, I have my own agenda to take care of. Find me again later and we'll see.
Goodbye.
Depending on my mood, I may go with you, or I may not. Back later, huh? Okay, then in the meantime I should look around somewhere else. Maybe I should check out that one area. Want evidence. Fragments. Something that was seen near earlier. That was... We don't know who the victim is. It's a mysterious body that was covered in a mask and then exploded. Well, at least the face exploded. So we're not quite sure who it is. And we have no Monokuma files about it yet. Or we do have a Monokuma file, but we don't know who it is still. That's what I should say. They were stabbed by a knife and then the body blew up when we tried to examine it, so... Yeah. Okay, I don't think it's anything over here. Kyoko. Kyoko's the only one unaccounted for right now. That's all. That is also like the too obvious of an answer, really, but still. So I don't think there was anything in here. Was it? No. Because this is from before we got to this school. Fragment. That is familiar, but why? I'm not able to place it in my memory at the moment. Earlier. What's that from again? Can't you see where your objectives are on the map? Not that I know of. I think that might be a later game thing. I think that's a second and third game thing. It's not really been a first game thing. Be like, oh yeah, this is someone you didn't know about at all because reasons. Well, they've been alluding to a 16th, the 16th, 13th, 12th student map you can access on the menu. This man. Oh, this. Oh, right. I forgot this was a thing. So these three are at the garden. Oh, we can teleport there. You know, they never really say that this is a thing you can do. Oh, we are right here. It says 75% here, so what are we missing here? I'm not sure. It's something like I'm somewhere else. Well, let's talk to everybody again real quick. Before the body exploded, he was wearing some kind of mask and a big white coat. Also, there was a knife sticking out of the stomach, and the area around it was stained with blood. Apparently, the wound had stopped bleeding, but the blood on the body was still wet. But for how much blood there was on the body, I didn't see any of it on the ground around it.
Okay.
That was a big help. Now that you explained it, I totally remember how it looked. Well, having to talk about it like that helped me remember a lot better, too. So, thank you, too. Wait, what? Oh, what does X do? Oh, that's Zoom. Okay, never mind. I'm silly. Don't mind me. Shh. Knowing how much you've searched is actually kind of helpful. First floor? It's not really... First floor, fifth, gym first floor, gym second floor. Cancels the mouse. Yeah, it was associated with the zoom. I realized that. Oh, something in the gym? Okay. Oh, wait. Right. But I figured it wouldn't be here.
You know?
Oh yeah, the bomb, that's right. I just found something. What is it? It's...
Huh?
It's what? A bomb. There's one installed in every Monokuma robot, I'm sure. A bomb? And that bomb went missing. There's no doubt about it. The fragments I found in the garden were from the Monokuma bomb. Okay. Okay, I've checked everything else I can think of. All that's left now is Kyoko's room. I should head back to the garden and ask Byakuya. No, I don't want... I think we can say for sure that the body was found at 9 a.m. Okay, my job's done. That's a pretty small job. There. The title was annoyingly vague about where you needed to go sometimes, so being able to reference the map... Yeah. I wish I knew that, like, 3 chapters ago. Because I remember a bunch of my stuff was running around trying to figure out where I needed to go. You think you can go soon, Byakuya?
Let's go.
You wanted to check out Kyoko's room, right? Very well, let's go. Wait for me. Byakuya walked off without a second glance, and I hurried after him on our way to the dorms. Well then, here we go. Byakuya took out the key and slid it into the keyhole, and then... click. And it's open. Looks like it, thanks. So, this is Kyoko's room. Oh, start left to right. There's something on the table. It's a woodblock decoration. What's that? What purpose does it serve? I think it's probably a key. The lockers at those really traditional public bathhouses use them for their lockers. I wouldn't know. I've never gone to a public bathhouse. That doesn't really surprise me. It's hard to picture Byakuya doing something like that.
It's certainly possible.
But if it is a key, I think I might know what it unlocks. Really? What? Unless I'm mistaken. I'm pretty sure I saw something in the dojo that this might go to. The dojo? Woodblock key added to the truth bullets. Alright.
What?
You wanted to come here, right? So what is it you're looking for? Nothing in particular. I just thought we might find some kind of clue here. Clue that might help us understand Kyoko.
Come on.
You can't be serious. That's why you made me take time out of my search to come here? Sorry. Regardless, if you plan on poking around at random, you're doomed no matter how much time you take. Surely you have something more concrete. Something to give us some sort of direction here. More concrete? Oh, I know. Earlier, Kyoko gave me something. Huh? What's this?
It's true.
Consider it a symbol of my determination. Don't open it yet. Only open it if something ever happens to me. I'm sure I have it here somewhere. Found it. What's in the envelope? Kyoko gave it to me. She said if something ever happened, I should open it. Well, something has certainly happened, so open it. Okay. I opened the envelope and looked inside. Inside was a single piece of paper. Under the sheets?
What?
That's all that was in there? Yeah, looks like it. Under the sheets. What could it be? Gee, I wonder. But could something be hidden under the bed sheets? Part of me didn't expect to find anything, but as I lifted up the sheets... What's this? I found a crumpled up piece of paper. Class number 78 student registry. Mukuro Ikusaba. It appears to be Mukuro Ikusaba's profile. Yeah, looks like it. That's probably the other thing Kyoko stole when she snuck into the headmaster's room, along with the key. God, you're so annoying. Fine, I'll tell you. It was a key, and blank. That's it. This must be the blank that Monokuma was talking about. Kyoko said a death without meaning was unappealing, and this is what she left behind. I don't have time for your sentimental indulgences. Hurry up and finish your search. Okay. I made an effort to pull myself together and look down at the profile sheet. Name, Mukuro Ikusaba. Sex, female. The ultimate soldier. Although small for her age, she was a military specialist trained in every weapon type imaginable. She showed an interest in the military from childhood and soon found herself completely absorbed in it. In elementary school, she won a survival game tournament and began writing for military magazines. Just before entering middle school, while she and her family were on vacation in Europe, she disappeared. The story of a young Japanese girl being kidnapped quickly took over Japanese media outlets. An intense international investigation turned up no information and she was never found. However, she reappeared in Japan 3 years later, alone and completely unannounced. She revealed that she had joined a mercenary group known as Fenrir for 3 years. She insisted that she hadn't been kidnapped, that she received battle training of her own volition. However, she never revealed why she decided to return home when she did. Interesting. Mukuro's profile has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. The Ultimate Soldier, a mercenary group. This doesn't feel real. The world I grew up in, it's like a completely different dimension. It's like one's nonfiction and the other is sci-fi. There's no way to even compare the two. That's how different this is. That was how I saw things just as an ordinary person. But then,
I see.
I never imagined I would hear the name Fenrir in a place like this. Huh? You recognize it? The Fenrir Mercenary Corps is a collection of battle-crazed warmongers. But they do have their uses, and they always get the job done. That's worth remembering. This is all part of a world totally removed from the one I live in. I have to say, I'm intrigued. Every rumor I'd heard said that Fenrir has already.
Found it!
Whoa! I feel like our hero has become a bit player, and a bit player is becoming our hero. Ah, it's you. What have you got in your pretty little hand there? Uh-oh, you found her profile. So what if we did? Don't freak out on me. I'm not going to hold it against you or anything. And in case you're wondering, I don't hold it against Kyoko either, even though she stole it and hid it. After all, there's no rule against stealing, is there? But who I can't forgive is Miss Ogami, who broke the rules and busted into the headmaster's room. Maybe I'll drag her corpse out here and slice it up and devour it. Bears are omnivorous, you know.
What?
A rule violation is really so unforgivable. You're quite adamant about these regulations of yours. Of course I am. A proper school life is built on the dedication to organization and order. Which is why even I, as the school headmaster, have to follow the regulations myself. Oh? So you're saying you have to follow your own rules as well? Absolutely. I can't have you complaining about how unfair it all is now, can I? In fact, on the subject of fairness, would you like to know something interesting? Interesting? It's about the one writing all the rules. They're actually one of the participants in this killing game. I don't think I ever actually told you how many participants there actually were, did I? I was thinking I should probably clarify that. When you all first got together in the main hallway, back then there were 15 people there, right? I think the first meeting may have led to a little misunderstanding among you all. A misunderstanding? Are you saying... That's right, there weren't actually 15 of you. The total number of students taking part in this killing game was actually 16. 16, then...
Mukuro Ikusaba, the 16th student, lying hidden somewhere in this school. The one they call the ultimate despair.
I remember when I had played this on my own stream, I decided to give each character a different voice. It's kind of what I'm doing, so... Mondo was pretty much just incomprehensible at me yelling.
Watch out for her.
The 16th student, Mukuro Ikusaba, she's part of this school life. So the one making all the regulations is... Why? Did you say something? Why are you telling us this? Oh, well, because... Like I told you, this killing game is desperately popular. You wouldn't believe the ratings. And since we got so many viewers now, I wanted to make sure everyone was on the same page. I don't want to wake up to a hurricane of complaints and hate mail, you know? Makes sense?
Indeed.
Okay, that's all you get for now. Oh, actually, I do have some revenge to get, so I have an extra bonus for you. Revenge? I want to get back at the sneaky Miss Kirigiri, so I'm going to share a little secret with you. Seriously? You know how she wears those stupid gloves day in and day out, all the time? Well, don't tell anyone I told you, but she wears them to cover a bunch of hideous scars that she doesn't want anyone to see. What? Okay, now that's all you get. Monokuma's account has been added to the Truth Bullets. Kyoko wears those gloves to cover up a bunch of scars. Wait, so on the back of her hand... The tattoo. Wait, but no. Monokuma specifically said they were scars, right? And that's why Kyoko wears those gloves, to hide the scars. Which means... those fake nails on the corpse. Are you thinking about Kyoko again? Huh? Forget about her. What matters right now is uncovering Monokuma's trap. His trap?
Such
God must have really hated you to make you so dull. Don't you remember what Monokuma just told us? He said there were 16 students, right? Which means Mukuro was a student here.
That's right.
Obviously, Monokuma was trying to tell us that Mukuro is the one creating the rules to the game. But why would he tell us that? And why now? He said he wanted to make things clear so there wouldn't be any complaints later. But the mere fact that he said that proves that Mukuro is connected to this case. That's why Monokuma revealed the existence of a 16th student. He needs to make our investigation fair. Mukuro was related to the case? Perhaps she's the one who killed Kyoko. What? That would explain why we'd have to have a class trial, wouldn't it? If she's a student and she killed someone, that would make her part of the school killing game. Mukuro is the killer? She killed Kyoko? Anyone should be able to come to that conclusion, don't you think? In fact, that's exactly what I thought when the investigation first began. Your your fav, something like that. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Tokukade. How you doing?
What?
I get that name. Hey, Bat. How you doing as well? And that one, Rich Roy. Byakuya. Oh, I see. Oh, I see what we're doing. Welcome on in, folks. But based on what Monokuma just told us, I've changed my mind. Mukuro Ikusawa isn't the culprit. Huh? What makes you say that? Batman! How you doing, Batman? We thought Mukuro, the ultimate despair, was the mastermind's true identity. But if that's true, Monokuma's behavior makes no sense. Why would the mastermind go out of the way to reveal themselves to us? That's a good point.
So
Mukuro giving us information that would raise questions about her would be bold, to say the least. It makes more sense, then, to assume that Mukuro isn't the culprit. So that's the trap. They want us to suspect Mukuro and come to the wrong conclusion. That's what makes sense to me. The way you say it, it definitely does seem possible, but if that's really true, if Mukuro isn't the killer, then who is? Well then, I believe our work here is finished. Let's move on. I'm sure there are other places in need of investigation. I should find out if that key and the dojo really are connected.
Let's
Well,
go.
are you coming? Oh, teleported right to the dojo. On how slow Makoto can be sometimes. Yep. Protagonistitis. Gotta be slow as the protagonist in every single dang game. Basically. So we want this one. There are wooden lockers here. They use woodblock keys, just like those at super traditional public bathhouses. It looks like the key we found in Kyoko's room really does go to one of these lockers.
I see.
Makoto, do you see the locker farthest to the right?
Very strange.
That's the only one that doesn't have a key in it at the moment. You understand what that means, right? All the characters in here can be pretty slow at times, this is true. I should probably use the key we found on the locker, right? Well, just try it. Okay. I took out the woodblock key and inserted it into the locker's metal lock, and... click. The lock eagerly accepted the key, and it opened. There are arrows in here. It looks like 10 arrows in total. They look like they're made of titanium, which means they're quite strong despite how thin they are. Of course, without a bow, they're nothing but strong little sticks. Strong sticks. Titanium arrows have been added to the truth bullets. Oh, there's something else inside the locker. It's a wadded up ball of duct tape. I wonder what this was used for. Is that a bloodstain?
I see.
If it is, that means it must surely be related to the case. This duct tape is related to the case somehow. But how could it possibly be involved? Except for Kirigiri. She's on a roll on picking up subtle clue, yeah. But then she has to deal with trying to get all of us on the same page. She has to deal with everybody else, basically. Thankfully, the character writing gets leagues better for DRQ, and I adore DRQ. Yeah. I think that's all the locker has to offer for now. Something wrong? It's very odd, don't you think? The locker was hiding items that were clearly related to the case. But how did the key to the locker wind up in the victim's room?
Why?
Or perhaps... Byakuya? Forget it. Come on, we need to continue on to the next location. Huh? What next location?
What?
There's still something we need to look into. We need to do more research on Fenrir. Fenrir? You mean the mercenary group that Mukuro was part of? But how are we supposed to find out about that? Isn't it obvious? Where in this school would you go to do research on something? Research. Are you talking about the archive? That's right. The archive has all kinds of info that the general public doesn't have access to.
Let's go.
We only have so much time before the trial begins. Let's hurry. Kirigiri has charisma as a dumb stat. Kirigiri has my curse. I believe there was a file related to Fenrir somewhere over here. Byakuya seems to know the archive like the back of his hand and went straight to the shelf in the back. Ah, here we go. He quickly returned with a file in hand.
I see.
Take a look at this. One way to balance her because she would be too hot without the weakness. I have no idea what it says. What language is this? How did you make it all the way to high school without learning a single word of French? I'm pretty sure most high schoolers can't speak French. Well, whatever. I'll read it for you. But I expect you to repay your debt 100 times over. 100 times? Isn't that kind of extreme? Fenrir is an elite fighting unit based out of the Middle East. Unlike military contractors, they are a fierce group of soldiers who engage in direct combat. They claim that a single member is equivalent to an entire company of regular soldiers. Just like Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok is their mere presence is enough to strike fear into an enemy. They have been involved in countless military battles and operations, most of which are highly classified. However, some time ago, they completely ceased all activity. At present, their continued existence cannot be confirmed. There are unconfirmed reports that the key members of the group were all neutralized. Rumors indicate they were killed to keep them from revealing the many state secrets they'd acquired. Some, however, believe there was mounting internal tension within the group, and they simply imploded.
What?
What is it? This all just sounds like some kind of alternate reality. Well, it isn't. This is our reality, the only reality. These people are part of our world. Their battlefields aren't much different from our lives here, an unpredictable, unimaginable world. That's what makes it all so exciting. Exciting definitely isn't the word I would use. So, did anything jump out at you? This may be your last opportunity to learn about Fenrir. Now that you mention it, the report said something about where the name Fenrir comes from, right? That's right. It said Fenrir is the Wolf of Ragnarok. Speaking of which, would you like to know something interesting related to that? To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body. What? They got a tattoo of Fenrir? That mean... Mukuro Ikusawa's profile has been updated. Oh, here we go. Class trial time, and we've got, like, not very much to work on with. This is gonna get interesting.
Time is utterly silent, and yet it constantly assaults us organisms, the Earth, natural phenomena. It damages us little by little until the end. You should really think about that. Anyway, it's time to begin the class trial. So, please meet up in the usual spot. See you later.
Then the time has come. All we can do now is try to uncover the truth during the class trial.
That's right.
It would seem that way. Let's go. Here we go. Whoa! Byakuya and Makoto showed up together. Where the heck have you two been? You just disappeared without a word. We were investigating, of course. How could you not figure that out by this point? Makoto's high-ranked enough for you guys to go off together, just the two of you?
Huh?
What, are you jealous? Or are you making up some kind of creepy fantasy for yourself?
What?
Stop talking and brace yourselves. He'll be here any second. Any second. He could show up at any time. When I imagined what was about to happen, I immediately tensed up and prepared myself. But... we stood there for 5 full minutes waiting for something weird to happen. And then 5 minutes became 10. What's going on here? Why hasn't Monokuma showed up yet?
Could it
Maybe he died again? What should we do? Should we keep waiting here or... or what? Jesus! Did I scare you?
Come on.
I demand an explanation. Why did you waste my time and make me wait like that? What? I made you wait? You've got it all backwards. You're the ones making me wait. Huh? I'm waiting for everyone to arrive. We can't start till everyone's here now, can we? What are you talking about? Everyone is here. We've all been waiting for you. Oh, sorry, but you're wrong. But I've been waiting 10 minutes now, so it's okay if I punish the one we're making us all wait, right? If we all agree it's a violation, I'll arrange a punishment right now. If it's me you're waiting for, I'm right here. When we heard that voice, we all spun around to look.
Hey.
I'm here, and no rule's been broken. Yoko! Yoko, you're still alive? Oh, that's a ghost! Stop talking. If you want to fight, do it at the class trial. You need to save some of the fun for later, right?
What?
But is it okay that there's no particular penalty for being late?
Is that right?
I made it here just fine. What school regulation did I violate? Am I wrong? You're so selfish, so spoiled. You're right, there's no penalty officially, but I bet you'll be sorry later. No, I'll make sure you're sorry later. Anyway, hustle your butts onto the elevator. I'll be just one step ahead of you. When Monokuma was gone, we all rushed up to Kyoko. Kyoko, so you really didn't die.
Indeed.
Of course I didn't die. Thank God, I'm glad you're okay. Perhaps, but that's not necessarily a good thing for us. Huh? He's right, now we gotta deal with a ghost. I told you to stop talking.
Let's go.
Come on, let's just go. Whatever we need to discuss, we can do it during the trial. Without ever looking directly at Kyoko, Byakuya stepped into the elevator. Wait for me! Good call. Who knows what might happen to us if we take too long.
But
I've lost a brain cell after Yasuhiro said that. I'll be happy when this trial is all over. One after another, everyone piled into the elevator. But I couldn't help myself. I had to talk to Kyoko before the trial started. Listen, before we get started, I have to ask you, where have you been this whole time? You used that key of yours to go somewhere, didn't you? So,
Correct.
I went to investigate the second floor of the dorms. The second floor?
That's right.
There aren't any monitors or cameras there, so I was able to avoid Monokuma completely. Of course, I also missed his announcement because of that.
Whew.
I had no idea a body had been discovered. Then, when did you find out? Just now.
So-
I finished my search and came back down, just in time to hear the class trial announcement. I took some time to go over the crime scene first. I can't go to trial completely uninformed, can I? So that's why you were late.
However,
I'm sorry I kept you all waiting. But if you were on the second floor of the dorms, then what's that key you found? That's what the key you found goes to?
Wrong.
Actually, to be precise, not quite.
In
I
other
used
words,
Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. What? Oh.
Just a second.
Hey, what are you two doing? Hurry up before we get in trouble with Monokuma. We can go
Makoto.
over all the details after we get through the trial, okay, Makoto? Right now, I just want to focus on surviving our current situation. Because this is probably the single most crucial moment so far for me. For her? That's a strange way to put it. Class trial is important for everyone, right? So why would she say it's a crucial moment for her?
Goodbye.
Well, if that's all. Seemingly unconcerned, Kyoko made her way to the elevator. I'm just overthinking what she said, right? I'm surprised that he was accepted into Hotu Academy because he is very, very dumb. Well, no, he's just very, very lucky. That's why. And the doors slid shut. This time, the clunking was loud enough to hurt my ears, and the dread began to consume me once again. I can't imagine ever getting used to the mental pressure that comes with preparing for an execution. In that dusky darkness, nobody said a word. We just stood there, silent and still. After an immeasurable period of time, the doors opened without warning. A dazzling light penetrated every depth of my eyes, but it wasn't the illuminating light of hope. It was the blinding light of despair.
I can't wait.
Ah!
I can't
I've been
wait.
waiting for this! I feel like it's been forever since we got together like this. The time for pointless jokes and jabs has passed. Let's get on with the show!
Chill.
And so the curtain opened for the 5th time. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial. Save data? Yes. Hero's the dumbest motherfucker in the trade, but he hasn't made it for his accurate 33% fortune telling. Yeah, pretty much. When did they get him up the courtroom? All right, give me just a moment. I need to get hydration since I'm going to be talking a lot more again. Okay, there we go. Did we get skills? We did, and we have a lot of points left. Piece of focus is by 2. Do we have any other skills we haven't activated yet? Nope. Okay. Still gonna be that flipping a coin is 10 times better. Man raised by wolves is smarter than a hero. Clash trial time. All rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
Hero, please. Please.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost.
Damn it.
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
I'm a Byakuya here. Thanks, hero.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right?
Even Makoto's like, how the fuck do I deal with this?
Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
One important trait Kyoko has that proves the body doesn't belong to her. Gloves.
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion. I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
There's no way that corpse was Kyoko. But if I can't prove why, we're gonna be stuck here and the case won't move forward. So I don't have any choice but to... Nope, here we go. Should be the tattoo on the right hand.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
Oh no, okay, I see
This
where we need to do
entire
it. It's
discussion
the
is
fake
idiotic.
nails. Must have been wearing... Yeah.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Speed
Okay,
forward.
The dead body was...
they got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves.
Well, yeah, she must have been.
There we go.
No, that's wrong. No, there's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
Hero, please.
Anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there. Ah, here we go.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so.
The face was scorched beyond recognition.
Oh, that's not it.
Shoot!
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
Unless it wants us to do the
There's gotta be some
exploded
way
body
to figure
analysis
it out.
instead.
I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file.
Well, if we can't identify the body...
There we go. Okay. That was just the wrong line. That's all.
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real?
If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
I have no response to that.
They really did something that humiliating?
Jesus Christ, both of them.
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
Compare the tattoo to the other information we had. The bit it should be Mukuro Ikusaba.
I got it!
Monster Trial is
Fenrir
Makoto
Mercenary
babysitting
Corps.
3
That's the name
dumbasses.
of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is... Oh my god, why are we doing this? Oh, okay. I thought we were doing the other one. Okay, really? Come on. 7
Now I
minutes for 2
understand.
letters, right?
The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. Then that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf. Which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir.
You're looking Makoto, why are you thinking so hard for us to play anime?
So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
What? Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a coup-last trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from... Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means
Dot, dot, dot.
Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time, and when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us, just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Based on what we know, there can only be 2 suspects. I mean, Kyoko's gotta be one, right? So...
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The 4 of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma.
I just love this line. Like Kyoko that doesn't know what the heck's going on is like, excuse me?
The whole time we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the 4 of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
So the only suspects now are me and Kyoko. Damn it, I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want, somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
So, what time was the body discovered? 9?
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went
I
to
kind of
get
look
the
at
pickaxe.
the information, so I just guessed. And I don't remember because that was like 2 weeks ago. Now then, Toko, what time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock, so it's probably 9 on the dot right now. Okay, go get the pickaxe and be back here by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m., and I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. till 7:30 a.m. Okay, then it looks like the game has begun. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, and I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. To do that, I have to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden. Sprinklers, explode body fragments. So I'd say sprinklers.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the
Detective
morning.
Girl Gary, thank you for the follow.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit.
What does the sprinklers say? Sprinklers say morning at 7:30. Okay. So we need to go back around the
So
loop.
Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Something that happens in the garden at the same time every morning. Thinking back, the corpse was almost totally dry. Guess I should be able to figure out when the body must have appeared. Okay.
We've established a time frame
So
for the
it's-
murder. It took place somewhere between 9 o'clock in... Yep.
And Makoto...
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Shoot!
Oh, we need to do it on the earlier one. Okay. Zoomy speech.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Is it the 10 o'clock one we need?
And Makoto
Yeah,
doesn't have
probably.
an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder. I should.
So Makoto, if
Okay.
you have any objections,
So we need to use it
now
on that
would be-
earlier one. Gotcha.
We've established a time.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock.
No, that's wrong!
Which makes sense in hindsight.
Actually, the murder couldn't have happened
His
anywhere
voice
near
snaps.
10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words?
Excuse me. phrasing! Fucking Christ!
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my
Why
entire
are you all like
existence?
this?
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
Is the sprinkler noted? It wasn't the sprinklers that got the body wet. All I have to do is hit Toko with certain evidence and that should do it. Look at the body itself, that should make it clear. It's- oh my god, we gotta do this again. Oh, moment of truth.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! How can you...
This should prove it.
Blood is wet, who knew?
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
Let's just move on.
Oh my god.
The reason only the top half was wet was because... while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
Oh my god.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Kyoko's the only one without an alibi, which would mean that Mukuro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone? That's...
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game, and now you decide
What if the body
to
got moved? That's what I
blame
was
me?
thinking. I mean, it's pretty obvious the body got moved at some point because of the tarp.
Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
See?
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
A certain something at the scene was used to cover the body. Could it have been... the tarp.
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Wouldn't make it dirty, right?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? It's some dirty water. Alright, we're gonna run ads real quick because I need to go use the restroom and grab some more hydration. So back in a couple minutes, and we will resume this when we get back. Welcome back, folks. Let's continue. No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the tarp must have touched the body, right? But the body...
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's going to think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said. Body before the explosion. Hold on.
By covering the...
Hold on. Body before the explosion. Corpse in a mask covering its head and a white jacket covering the body. Knife and thrust, and there were blood stains around the wound. Body had stopped bleeding, but the blood was still wet. What's noted, however, that there was no blood on the ground around the body. Ah. So we want
The killer prevented
body
it from
before the
getting wet.
explosion. Why'd you kill her, girl?
The reason the tarp
Howie,
was
how you
only
doing?
dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was
Ah,
facing
damn
down
it.
toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
It's either that or it didn't get dirty. Body ain't tried to. You want us not to touch it to avoid getting any blood on us. Okay.
By covering the
So we
body
need to
with the killer
go to
prevents-
around
So
the
reason that
third or
because
the
spring- but the
second
underside,
to
it was
last, I
totally
think.
spotless.
It's because that side was protected from the water.
Not this one.
Since it was facing down
Last
toward
one.
the body,
How you doing,
of
Howie?
course it didn't get dirty.
No. Okay. So that's not it. Oh no, it got deflected. Never mind. Okay. So I need to
By
time that a
covering
little
the body,
better.
the
Blah
killer
blah blah
prevents-
So the
blah.
reason that is because the spring, but the underside, it was totally
It's because that
Closer
side
to my
was
favorite part.
protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the... Of course it didn't get dirty.
There we go.
no,
Boop,
that's
Howie.
wrong. Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Huh? The blood was camouflage?
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
They got blood from right there in the garden, right? Which must mean... Oh, the chicken blood. Maybe.
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
Very messed up, yeah.
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
Freaking out tonight.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Yeah, it was backwards too.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
Suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. Disguised dead body.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin.
No.
50-50 odds.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important. Now that we have the knife, what are we going to do with it? We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I don't want it anyway. So what to do? Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto? Huh? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
it's not that I hid it. It's just...
Couldn't be sure what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto.
You should have dumped the knife in the trash.
Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Excuse me? Considering everything up till now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. Oh, here we go. This guy's dead body exploded. Fragments near the dead body.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it?
Hold on. I need to look at this. The body. Is this somehow that's soaking wet? No. And then. Was it body before the explosion or. Disguised dead body is what it was. I'm pretty sure blood to make it look like the corpse has been wearing it.
That seals it! Makoto did it!
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Wait. We already established the coat was put on the body after the tarp was removed. It means the knife was thrust through the coat into the body.
The knife?
Hold on. Okay. Through the body. Wait. It's stuck in the head of an object about a stick of metal pipe. The body is covered. The ones, but these were at least several days old. Yeah, I think it's the disguised dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
No, that's wrong. Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her!
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible. The exact condition of the body was written down for everyone to see with the Monokuma file.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. Totally forgot about that.
Then the knife
was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kinda goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic-level spontaneous combustion!
Please help. Just, please help.
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
There's only one explanation I can think of for the explosion. Not that was man, so much pain for Hero staying alive and making a great statement.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural, because of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb!
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect, you, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine, I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
Will it not? We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate. Oh, here we go. All we got is Monokuma File 5, so we might have to grab something.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't you because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that...
Oh, yeah.
The victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Knife was a cover-up and all those other wounds on her body weren't fresh. Only leaves.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah, she was...
And it wasn't you
There's a
because
knife.
of then there's only...
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury
has yet to be determined.
There we go.
No, that's wrong. Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
The Then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
Go ahead. Solves our problem one way or another.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on
Wow.
the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely
Um.
you've deduced the real murder weapon?
Have I? Real murder weapon. What? Field doesn't count. No. Not that. What? What? It was the chicken. I remember this one the first time I played this forever ago being odd. Was it the bomb? I don't think so. Like they got hit with the bomb and then it was used to blow them up, but there's nothing else because the titanium arrows are pretty. They're not really. It makes no sense. We can find it. Thick as a metal pipe because the. It's the duct tape. Showing the attorney's badge, right? Hold on. I don't know. God dang it. It's stupid. Which one was it? I'm gonna just say random ones at this point. This.
Shoot.
No, no, no. Damn it, which one was it? Yeah, tell me, because I remember it being stupid, and I just don't want to waste time on this. I remember it being absolute. I remember going, what? But there's so many of these things that is the same. What? It is the arrows. Okay. The arrows.
I got it.
Oh god.
Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something, and that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
An arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
God.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master! You have no right!
I'm not back-talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for doubting it, because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. Alright, the duct tape. They were taped together. Wouldn't still really be solid enough. Never mind.
Titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no
I forgot
doubt
about this.
That was the murder weapon.
You sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
No, that's wrong.
To say, if it's moving, not supposed to, duct tape works on people too.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape.
Take this. Seems to make sense over the attorney's circus VS case. That's not wrong. That's not
The
wrong.
killer probably used this duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to. The death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I have evidence? Evidence that Kyoko went to the dojo. Must be connected to that dojo locker. Is the woodblock key.
I got it!
The hat.
The one
rose.
thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is... right here. The key to the dojo locker.
This one possibly from court, yeah.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just... there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
He was protecting me? Then does that mean she knew I was being attacked? She came to my rescue. Could that be when... Which would mean that Kyoko, she killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know?
What? Byakuya should know better than anyone? What does that mean? Oh. When the body was found.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
You have a room key to Byakuya, right? Could mean... Oh.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Okay, when do I fire this, though? That's
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
I think we do it at the end.
What are you? Master would never.
There's proof that you... Is that what you're...
You stated a theory.
You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo and then left the locker key in my own room.
Okay, no, we need to...
Shoot!
Oh, I think I need to grab that.
Those
That's what I need to
words
do.
you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what.
I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than...
Byakuya!
Master would never.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the and then left the locker key in my own room, correct?
But could I really have done that?
And then the evidence
Those
is...
words you just...
Exactly.
I'm not the killer. You should understand that.
Byakuya!
Master would never.
There's proof
That you aren't the culprit.
There we go.
No, that's wrong. If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room
Huh? Why not?
because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No. It's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us. An obvious lie. But this just isn't like her. To try and save herself with such a desperate lie. Does she really feel that threatened? Because she's the killer? Is it something else? Or is there some deeper meaning hidden in what Kyoko said earlier? When I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen. This is a trap the Mastermind has laid for us. The Mastermind's trap. The Mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko? But what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I... The Mastermind's trap? The victim was Mukuro and Kyoko killed her? What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's a lie. And I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The Mastermind's trap. If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if that risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? What do I do? I have to decide right here and now whether or not to expose Kyoko's lie. Run away? We have to do the danger thing. Pursue the lie.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you. So let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
Kyoko's definitely lying, and it must be because There's some other deeper truth she wants to keep hidden.
I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then, when we searched Kyoko's room, how else could the key have gotten there?
Someone other than me must have put it there. That's the only explanation.
But she's got the skeleton key thingy. Let me further trust her that she had stolen something very important from the headmaster's room.
I didn't
So hold on,
have...
let me make sure that's a part of Kyoko's account. Secret tool.
Because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then...
Got it.
No, that's wrong. No, Kyoko could have gotten into her room. You said so yourself, didn't you, Kyoko?
Actually, to bruise ice, not quite. I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. What?
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school. Which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing...
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to escape it. So I lost. That's all this means.
Huh? Then, are you saying you really didn't... Kyoko, you really aren't the killer?
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out! So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you! But I guess we already know who the blackened is, don't we?
Good job. You got it right. Brilliantly right. We got it right? Does that mean Kyoko really is the killer? But something strange is going on here. There's something wrong with this whole class trial. Kyoko!
Now then,
I've
I
prepared
a very special punishment!
this time. Is everyone ready? Okay then!
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Bits! How you doing, Bits? Hydrate.
I was getting thirsty.
Shall hydrate, thank you. I'm doing okay. That's how the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba came to an end. Still had to wonder whether Kyoko was actually innocent or, regardless, the truth was lost forever. Even for me. I just stopped thinking about it. That was the end of Mukuro's class trial. And in the end, it would prove to be our last class trial. Once that case was over, there was never a single murder at Hope's Peak ever again. We had obtained peace in exchange for the lives of all the others. Yep, game over. Oh my god, this. Peace, but only inside the school. Peace, but only for us. That was the only hope we had. Hope. Hope? This is hope? I had to get one of the bad endings.
This isn't right!
Huh?
Makoto, why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's claim?
Her claim? Oh, that's right. I have to... Do I expose Kyoko's lie or not? We get rewound at this point. He's not wrong. I have to think about this very carefully. What do I do? Decide right here now whether or not to expose. We'll let it go. Made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be some secret here. Something that has to do with the mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
We're back to being the suspect, huh?
What?
It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead, and then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
Time's up! Class trial's up!
What?
Oh,
Time's up?
right.
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
Voting time?
Now,
85 medals.
who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Hey, hold on!
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
And dun dun dun. What? You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's all your fault. Everyone, you're wrong. You got it all wrong. I didn't do it.
Yes, indeed.
Good job, everyone. Good job. Yeah, they got it right. No, I know that's not true. None of this makes any sense. This whole trial doesn't make any sense.
Hey!
It makes perfect sense. It's the same as always. It's just like all the other class trials, and I'm going to end it the same way. It's time for your heart-pounding, positively thrilling punishment. Wait, why do I... Kyoko.
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Yoko?
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Just realized. No, I'm from the other school. Yeah. And it didn't start as that either. The blackboard changed halfway through the animation. See, and it changed again here. Huh? What's this? What's going on? Hey, what was that? Yeah, it had to be. Alter ego. Alter ego? Is this some stupid virus from that stupid guy? He must have planted it when he invaded my network. But all the hell, I don't believe this.
It would seem...
Seems you finally made a miscalculation. No, you miscalculated from the very beginning. What was that? What I'm saying is, you shouldn't have underestimated us. What are you talking about like you've already won? I barely felt a thing. It was a pinch, an inch. The stupid virus is gone now, got it? And so is Makoto. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you're never gonna see him again. To waste away in a garbage-strewn pit in a way, that's even better than special punishment. Plenty Paws, Raiders, welcome on in. How y'all doing? Welcome on in. Let me get you a shout out. Let's see. Ooh, Cobalt Core. How did Cobalt Core go? And would you like us to play a clip from your channel? Let's see. I think it was Monokuma. Was Monokuma telling Makoto how the execution is going to work, the biology of how to make it? I don't know what the last lesson we saw. Super cute, never played before. Clip is good, heck yeah. Yeah, I've seen and heard a lot of good things about Cobalt Core. Clip is good. Let's see what we got.
I present to you my magical cock. Excuse me? Oh God, it's a black hen. Oh, there's no way I can't buy this. Because Sadani's gonna love it. Oh, and then it's gonna turn the hedgehog stabber into a prince. Don't let your eyes fool you. This ain't a regular cock, Your Grace. This cock has been enchanted.
It's also a great game.
I can't read this with a straight face. It's officially at least a PG-13 stream. Oh, this is about clear.
Welcome on in, Raiders. If you have not seen me before, my name is Kagan. I'm a variety streamer, also USB mouse, as you can tell by the tail wiggling on back there. Play a little bit of everything on this channel, also do crafting, be it crochet, scale mill, gunpla building, Legos, etc., etc. Right now we are right at the end, I think, of the 5th chapter of Danganronpa. So welcome on in, thank you for the raid, Flinty Paws, and yeah, welcome on in, everybody. Thank you, phone. Let us resume with this. After school lesson execution, because it's simple and scary. The idea of hearing crushed noise and getting closer to it, yeah. But it's still not enough. I'm still not satisfied. I'm still gonna bring despair to the rest of you. Bring despair to the entire world. Is he gone? Hey, Kyoko, what's the meaning of all this? Just what the hell is going on?
Calm down.
It's okay. We're not the ones being trapped this time. Huh?
In other
Now
words,
it's the mastermind. Now it's the mastermind that's ensnared. What are you talking about? You'll understand soon enough. Very soon indeed. The massive high school towers over all other buildings in this bustling urban area. It's like the school stands at the center of the entire world. Hope's Peak Academy. It brings in top students from every field imaginable, a government-funded school of privilege. They say that if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. With hundreds of years of tradition, it sends the cream of the crop into the workforce every year. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting name. There are 2 things you need to attend this school. 1, you have to already be attending high school. 2, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student can enroll here. The only way in is if you're scouted by the school itself. And standing there at the gate of the ultimate school filled with the ultimate students was me. Imagine if Monokuma had that punishment last a whole lecture. Oh no. In that chair for an hour or more listening to Monokuma's lesson, you hear the gears and pounding machinery behind you. Yeah. What? Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on top of a hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It wouldn't be weird for me to zonk off in the middle of some boring class or whatever, but what was I doing asleep here just now? It wasn't any classroom I'd ever been in before. What the heck is going on? Finally. I could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together again. And then I was awake. Or was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare. No, this isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. I was in a vast dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in. Trash was piled high all across the area. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in. But that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck here till I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what had happened. Alter Ego saved me, and he used up the last little bit of strength to do it. So I can't give up now, for myself and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was to start looking for a way out of here. Alright. I'm gonna save real quick. We're not stopping, but it is going to be the final ad break of the stream, so we will be back in a couple minutes, folks. Oops, excuse me. Welcome back. I usually use characters that are more similar to me. My insecurities about true. That's the reason why I put the content warning above. There's a bunch of different little things happening with this game, especially that cause issues. And I've talked about this once or twice already while we've done this game over the past couple months. And there's questionable translations for various parts of this game, including Chihiro's whole thing. Very kind of roughly handled. There's good parts to it and bad parts to it, and I also understand and agree with Z a bit here. It could have been handled better, and it is a possibility too. Part of the problem a lot of people have with how Chihiro is handled is that could have been handled a little more smoothly, in my opinion, is once Monokuma reveals Chihiro's secret, everybody basically immediately switches from she to he, and it feels kind of odd there. Like, immediately everyone, except for like a little pause with Makoto going, I mean, he. Everybody kind of just immediately switches gears there. And it kind of feels a little, I don't know, off from them only knowing Chihiro going by she. A lot of what I feel would have helped things would be, because at that point they don't know what Chihiro would have preferred to go by in that sense. It's never that's talked about a bit, but it's never gone into detail more of the backstory and the reasoning for everything. It's mentioned, but it's not to the point of they wanted to get stronger so they could be themselves, but in the end we don't quite know what they wanted themselves to be in the end product. Not product, but the end goal is the better word, I should say. So a thing I think would have been best for the translation would be instead of them, because they didn't know what Chihiro wanted to be as their goal. They could have done that better there, but that's another that's another debate. That's another discussion. If the other characters during the trial swapped from she to they instead of she to he, they, I feel, would have been a better, we aren't sure, but we have we understand there's it's a lot more complex than we're thinking about it here. I feel that would have been a little better handling of it. But again, this game, especially of the three, I believe, is the translations are a bit roughly handled in a lot of parts of it. But also, I'm not sure how well it's handled in the second or third games because I've not played them. I played the second one for like, I don't know how much did we play it? We played it through like part of the first case, part of the first chapter, I think, or maybe just the first chapter, 1 or 2 chapters, I think. But especially the first game is the characters are an extreme of something, of some aspect of Japanese life, of just of humanity in general, of different genres, different aspects of especially Japanese life. If they could have been more smooth on, I guess that's honorifics in the translation. Therefore, yeah, pronouns, etc. Yeah. This is of course the first game, and as especially Nico and everybody's been mentioning, the second and third games are a lot better than this one in how a lot of things are handled, which is very understandable. This partially product of the time, etc., etc. It could go through a lot of different things. Person making something closer to the current reality, regardless of insecurities. We aren't big titty goth girls. So again, he's friends and while Cheer definitely feel trans, their character aren't comfortable identifying yet, shouldn't force it to them. Yeah, that's the thing. What I mean is, especially we as the viewer, aren't we as the viewer and the other characters both don't know what Chihiro was aiming for as an end goal. They wanted to get stronger to be themselves, but we didn't really get a lot of the backstory. We got a bit of the backstory, we got a bit of what Chihiro was after, but not the full thing. So, like I said, shifting the pronouns to a more neutral stance after Monokuma revealed, that would have probably been better, but that is also a hindsight 2020 type thing. A lot of the stuff in this game could have been handled a little better here and there. But it's also partially the product of, especially in this game, every character's story is basically an extreme of everything, which is played off on the ultimate X, the ultimate despair, blah blah blah, the ultimate affluent student, aka the ultimate asshole, basically. The ultimate sports star, the ultimate biker, bike gang leader, etc., etc. They're all played to extremes on not just what they were, but also in parts of their personality. Hero being the ultimate clairvoyant, also the ultimate idiot. The real translation actually is the super high school level. Right. I always forget what the original translation was. Yeah. Translation for this also came out during a time which studios were not so mindful of transversion. Exactly. That's why I mentioned it's also a product of its time, partially. Which also explains why some of the translations especially were fairly rough. Cultural time elements, etc., yeah. A lot of things play into that. It's also, we're playing it despite those things, but also have the warning above, because it's a topic that should be discussed. I'm not going to avoid playing the game because of some of these elements. There may be games that have the elements deeper that I will avoid because I don't want to deal with. They're not something I want to deal with, but I don't think of any of those off the top of my head. Maybe AI Somnium Files, because I've heard there is some pretty rough stuff in that, but I don't remember what off the top of my head. It's unfortunate that the first case fell victim to English localization. Yeah. But yeah, let's continue this, see how much farther we can get. And yeah, because the farther we get in this, the closer we get to Danganronpa 2 and 3. Alright, so what do we got? Let's start in left to right here. There wasn't getting around it for the desk. Is that an airplane? How'd something like that wind up in the school's garbage pit? I want to do the door last, so we'll go here. This is a desk. It's probably the one that fell down here with me. That's a rocket in a tank. I'd better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. It's locked. No matter how many times I pushed or pulled or kicked at it, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't going to be that easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon... Summoning Files, in my opinion, weakest game that Kotaro Uchikoshi has made. Got lots of issues with that. That's what I've heard from a bunch of people. I decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. That was pointless. That was pointless too. Next, I searched for some water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink and which ones are all around bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides. But that's still not enough reason to give up, because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was what I guess Summoning Files as being reptilian. Go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left after not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed. and all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly. Got crunch. What the? The strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched, the pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell from up above. What could it have been? Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? I carefully stretched my hand out toward whatever it was that tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash? Rude. Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
It smells...
This place smells awful. Kyoko?
Indeed.
You look like you're doing better than I expected. What are you doing here?
So...
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You've got a bit of garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then faced me again.
Hey.
First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat. We can talk once you're finished. Thank you. I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way toward my stomach. That really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going. So you still haven't given up, then? Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at.
Hmm?
Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. But Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt, or no, to atone. Atone? During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that, you didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do it the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason that I had to survive, no matter the cost. Why'd you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive is so that I can do what I came to this school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for one very important reason. So you have some reason for coming to Hope's Peak?
Indeed.
That's right. At least I did once. Once? Until recently, I'd forgotten what it was. You forgot? But that's... I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory? That's impossible.
Huh?
Amnesia? Then, is it really true you lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at this school? The first thing? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself. A disconnect. Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to this school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability, somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you? And it could also mean, somehow, my memories may be connected to the mystery of this school and the mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is
If I did that, and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make too big a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind, one of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were the least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but... I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could be the mastermind.
I understand. understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
It's just like the dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
Listen.
Are you okay? Oh yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
Hey.
Even now, I still trust you, you know? It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
Correct.
I know I never asked for your help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own. So how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So...
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. The ultimate detective?
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find here on the school. You had to find someone? Who? No shit, Sherlock. Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why'd you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. What?
In other words...
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad is Hope's Peak's headmaster? Then that explains... When Alter Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved... I'll find a way. Huh? No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster. No matter the cost. Kyoko, what's going on? My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However...
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then, what did you see in there? The room had been ransacked, the shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped onto the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
It's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. This is some kind of map.
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room, along with Mukuro's profile on that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. And I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, that room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check. Correct. And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However...
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So, what was it like? That part of the school, I mean. It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized, whatever's going on in the school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean? I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself, and I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. Sounds like it must be important, and really ominous. If you have rooms to stay overnight at your work, you aren't being paid enough, period. Yeah, pretty much. Remember shrimping the shrimp dance thingy? Oh yeah, the shrimp dance thingy, because we only did like the first case in that too.
However...
Of course, once I got to the second floor of the dorms, there were no cameras and no monitors. That's why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It has to do with Mukuro Ikusaba, doesn't it?
However...
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right. That just means everyone but you and me had an alibi. So then who did kill her?
Anyway...
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba was to get me killed. Get you killed?
Indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was. The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's
exactly.
Right.
With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion.
In other words...
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use a class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules. That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
Hey.
There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba. What's that? There was a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. I could have become the victim?
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean... during the night? I can hear them, you know. The footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me into cases, just like this.
Anyway.
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell, and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
Correct.
I ran into your room and saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However...
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead.
Correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind, in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right. That is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed a class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So, what does it all mean?
In other
It means
words,
that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more, and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair, and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not.
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused the event. You're talking about
That's right.
what happened a year ago, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy, whoever's responsible for that, they're the ultimate despair?
It would seem...
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then they're...
Indeed.
Make no mistake. They're the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this. It's actually just the Akuma Eugene and Tekken. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. Chapter 5, 100 Mile Dash, Pain of a Junk Food Junkie, the end. To be continued. Dream Island Rocket. Yes, I would like to save the data, thank you. Hero, how you doing? The Ultimate Despair, a group of people who caused a tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the Mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now, we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. It can open any door in the school, right? That's right. Then we should be able to use it on that door, right? Hey Kyoko, we can use that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Kyoko took out the key with the Monokuma design on it and slid it into the keyhole. And then, click. Yes, it opened!
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. Quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Finally. We were finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief, because the real fight had just begun. The ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. Chapter 6. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. Passages were so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far down.
Hey.
Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help me keep my mind off it. So Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long? Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then, is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So,
right.
Because we take pride in it. Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society. Which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort? It's
true.
kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational. But it's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride. So that explains it. Before I came, when I was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about her. I want to ask about that mysterious shadow in your skirt. Wow. Because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However...
Yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to re-enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, it was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you'd be reuniting after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However,
There is something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him, face to face. What is it? I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young, so I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented. He had a promising future.
However...
But he had no interest in detective work, so he cut himself off from the family. Not long after, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument. As young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for it. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell how she looked when she said what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative. And more emotional. I don't blame him, you know? He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However...
But there's one thing that I can never forgive. Really? The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing. But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. Sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow.
Correct.
That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. In order to settle the past, in order to remove him from my life forever, I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family, just to cut him out like that?
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey.
Is blood really enough to call someone family? I'm only connected by blood, not by heart or soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that, I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. Quick question here. Do you think Makoto has a cute enough ass to follow up a snake meteor ladder? Oh, God damn it. Sorry, that was going through my head the entire time anyways, the snake eater song. I already have milk on the fridge, you didn't need to go out to the grocery store. Wow. After I didn't know how long, we finally reached the top. Looks like this is it.
Indeed.
On the other side of this door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without too much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. I reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch. The hatch opened with ease, and so... Looks like we're back. But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. Can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in Hope's Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. This is how we got out of the garbage pit. I never would have imagined that's where this led. So what do we do now? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out... And I'm worried about you too. You helped me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course. Then let's just get a concrete answer. Huh? Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's...
However...
If we try to hide it, it's only a matter of time till we're found out. And it's not like we can run away. As she said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry. What you think is going to happen isn't. Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. The mastermind is ensnared. You said something like that before. What does it mean? The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Mukuro's death. There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. There was.
Right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it'll be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations. I'm still super uneasy about this, but we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym. Let's get going. Alright, to the gym we go. If we're gonna force you to push your ass out and move your ass away from the wall, yeah. Hey. Kyoko, I don't mind so much. But Makoto's supposed to be dead. What's he doing here? That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really gonna be okay? You are supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What will you do? If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I gotta punish you again. This time I won't leave anything to chance. Kyoko,
Right.
do whatever you feel you have to. What?
However...
But before you do, let me just say one thing.
No.
You execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right? Huh? I lose? You, explain yourself. What do you mean by that? Well, you set up this latest class trial by yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me. I was supposed to be chosen as the blackened and then executed, right? Hey, what are you talking about? But when Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
Right.
And in response to that unexpected development,
Indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the Blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation. No, more than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However,
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery. Alter Ego. You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come to our aid even after you'd killed it.
am I
Now,
wrong?
here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Mukuro, you did.
Listen
So,
to me.
executing Makoto for it would truly be a violation of your rules, which I know you loved so much. If the Blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that means I lose? You talk a big game. You're saying that the Blackened is me and not Makoto? And you can prove this, right?
Wow.
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this, a comedy routine? To make such bold claims without a shred of evidence.
That doesn't
I don't have
matter.
any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's
Because no
right.
matter how deeply you try to bury it, there is only ever one absolute truth. And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type?
Because
If Makoto really was a killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you so love to inspire. But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts. And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey,
If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased. Huh?
indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
Listen to
Despair can never kill hope. Eh. Of course, you can say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair fair and square,
That's
then I
what we
suggest
have
you
to
take
do.
my advice. So, what is this advice of yours?
It's
To do
true.
Mokuro's trial over again. Only this time, you follow the school's regulations to ensure a fair trial. It's time for one last
showdown. One final battle between hope and despair. Hey,
Well, that would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say? Fair trial, one last showdown. In other words, this would be our chance to expose the true identity of Mukuro's killer, of the mastermind themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word. Interesting.
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed. Very.
What's
Oh,
wrong?
I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. So, Stanford Bear jokes. Now, what you've suggested might be possible. It would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
in other
Does that
words,
mean you accept?
You
If we do
guys?
things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would cause you unbearable despair, right? Then I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory? Let's have one finally grisly. Let's have one final grisly showdown. He agreed, and we still have a shot at this. But this is the long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting end. So for this final face-off, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries? That's right, every last mystery that's pawing around the school. If you can do that, then that'll be enough to qualify as a victory for you. Two are polar opposites,
it's
goddammit.
true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along. Okay, well, good. Then let's bear it all. If you can claw your way to the truth of Mukuro's death and solve the mysteries of this school, then you win. But if you can't do all that, we'll all face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? We're as excited as you are, I'm sure. When we've uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? I honestly can't believe how this has all turned out.
Hey,
Before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's
I
wrong?
remember that for sure. So what?
Hey,
I just wanted to confirm that is what you said, right? And it's a true statement? You don't have to be so suspicious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations, and having a trial for Mukuro is no exception to that. Huh? Mukuro's trial is no exception? Then it's part of the regulations? Which would have to mean that whoever killed Mukuro. It's a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough puns. Here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people taking a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. What?
listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why do you go all quiet? Go quiet all of a sudden. I'm done talking. I've got nothing left to say to you. So get lost, would ya? He's so mad. He seems emotionally unstable. Leave me alone. Get out of here. Okay, I'm going. You're really gonna let me go? I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway. I need to start getting it ready. A super duper extra special punishment overflowing with despair.
Hey,
Come on, Makoto. Let's go. Okay. That's more Kyoko and Hiro's polar opposites. Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away. And just like that, we were out of the gym. I could hardly believe it, but I somehow ended up not getting executed. I still had my life and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. Kyoko, thank you. Everything I have right now is because of you.
however,
Don't thank me just yet. The real battle is still ahead of us. Yeah, true. But still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. But honestly, why would the mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they?
so
They had no choice but to accept. Huh? It's all because of that one moment and the mastermind let down their guard, like I said. So when was it that the mastermind let their guard down?
So
I wasn't there to hear it myself, but do you remember what the mastermind said? They said that they had hijacked the airwaves to broadcast our school life to the outside world, right? Yeah, they definitely said that.
listen.
And what do you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right? Well, I mean, the idea of actually taking over airwaves seems so unbelievable.
Indeed.
You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off. And yet,
However,
somehow, the mastermind was able to do it.
in other
But
words,
think of it another way. There must have been some reason they had to do it, to do something that difficult. A reason?
so
They had to show the world something, no matter the cost. Us killing each other. They wanted to show the world.
it
The
would
mastermind has been
seem-
very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. All their rules and regulations were designed to encourage that. Yeah, that makes sense. If those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed anybody.
In other words,
So the mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other and show that off to the world. But why?
correct.
To prove a point, most likely. Prove a point?
Hey,
The outside world has a name for students of Hope's Peak, right? A certain concept. You're talking about hope, right?
that's
And for
right.
those of us who represent hope to kill each other and sink into despair, the mastermind wants the world to see that and to try and prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal, as the ultimate despair. What? They want to prove that despair is better than hope? But that's ridiculous.
It's true.
You're right. It is ridiculous. Completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would devise. That group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. But is that really their only reason for making the rest of us suffer?
Makoto.
I know how angry it must make you. And yet, that same motivation is what led to the mastermind revealing their weakness. What?
In
Because
other
their goal is to
words,
broadcast this killing game to the world. The mastermind has had to be more particular than is reasonable about their own regulations. If the mastermind simply ignored their rules, this wouldn't have been a game but a one-sided slaughter.
at the very least,
At least that's how those who are watching this would have seen it. And that's why the mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves?
Indeed.
That is precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of the regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished, but in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me.
Right.
So instead, they tried to use the class trial, following all their proper rules, to get me killed. They began a trial that didn't have a right answer, then made me out to be the killer. But even that didn't work.
It's
yes,
true.
thanks to you. And due to that failure, the mastermind took yet another risk. They attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. And when that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the mastermind had to accept your suggestion?
Indeed.
To prove to the world that despair is better than hope, they had to defeat us in perfect form.
In
It
other
would only
words,
do the mastermind harm to have it shown that they violated their own regulations. But all of that was a hunch, right? You were still able to get the mastermind to accept your challenge.
However,
Well, it's only thanks to you that we got that chance, because you believed in me. Another path opened up. Still, I can't believe how much of the mastermind's thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue.
wrong.
In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet. But it looks like I got it right. This time, at least, I won the bet. She let out a quick sigh. I took it as a small sign of relief. To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time. I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. First class trial selection was the baseball player. Yeah, it was the first class trial was the killer killed Sakuya, the idol. You seem totally confident from the moment we decided to go talk to him. Well, presenting a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? Plus, if I'd shown any my uneasiness, that would have just made you that much more uneasy. Yeah, you're probably right. How pathetic.
However,
Anyway, we can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this time.
correct.
Or everything we've gone through will have been for nothing. You're right. We can't defeat the mastermind. It'll cost us our lives. There is no option except to win.
Hey,
But before we begin the final battle, we have to tell the others what's going on. True, but now we know who our real enemy is. All we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind. Work together with everyone. Is that
however,
really possible? Huh? Anyway, right now we have to go find the others. They're
Shall we
probably in
go?
the dorm somewhere. Shall we go? No. I'm gonna go here, and then I'm gonna save, and then we're gonna stop here. This is a good stop point before we start talking to people and getting into long dialogue chains. Not map, not map. Yeah, Awie's still with us. Double save. Main menu. Yeah, she has a baby with all of everyone. It's so weird. Yeah, we got to a bad end. Let me see. I want to make sure I turn this off. And we'll head off to the end screen. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and hanging out. While we started with a bit of Fortnite, some pretty tough matches, but it was pretty fun. Why is it Toko? No. Just no. Oh god, I got stolen! Ah! Borshi! Then we continued in Danganronpa, finished chapter 5. We are now on chapter 6. I'm gonna boop you, hero. Gummies! I need to see if I can fix the gummies. I think I know how to fix the gummies. The gummies, the slimes...
Can I get a chair?
Etc. So, oh god! Why, Porshi? Anyways, I shall be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. We will be playing Lingo, maybe some Hunt, and then maybe some Minecraft or Palworld or something. I don't know what the plan is for tomorrow. It all depends on everything that happens. ultimate swimmer, super athletic. People have some legendary needs. Jeez. What else? I keep getting hit with chairs down here. Jeez. What was I gonna say? Oh, why am I being
Stop the
bonked?
chairs.
Rockon, why are you bonking me? Why you bonk me? I'm being bonked with chairs already. Why you bonk me? Anyways, I'm gonna go find somebody to send y'all off to, and I need to go cook some food. I'm hungry. Where's my browser? Uh-oh. This might open up on the wrong screen. We'll see. Nope. Okay. Open up on the right screen. God, I'm just being so abused right now. Let's see. Who is around right now? Aurora is playing some Lethal Company, probably with a Goob, I'm gonna guess. Ooh, Nico is playing some Astroneer. Who else is playing what? Dr. Fox Wayman is playing The Upturned, which is one of the previous games from Zeeker's, the Lethal Company dev. Let's see, Balinar is playing some Ultra Kill. Rai is playing some Doom. Saren is playing some Sea of Thieves. We're gonna go say hi to Nico. Playing some Astroneer, always very good. Oh yeah, there was a new update to Astroneer today, right? Or like within the last couple days. Like they added some interesting stuff in preparation for the big glitch update or glitch storyline or whatever the plan was. Yeah, we're gonna go say hi to Nico. Mew used. Wow. Raid Nico the Curious. Again, I shall be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central. We'll play a bunch of Lingo. We might do some Hunt Showdown, and then we'll see if we do Minecraft or Pal World or something. I don't know what tomorrow. And then Thursday we'll be continuing Small Saga and Backpack Hero. What else? I'm not sure what else. Thank y'all for being here, for tuning in, hanging out, chilling, and vibing with the games today. It means a heck of a lot. Hopefully this week will be nice and back to normal. Working our way through a bunch of longer story games, Small Saga, My Friendly Neighborhood, continuing Danganronpa today. We'll see. I think my ultimate goal with Lingo tomorrow, for the next couple weeks is to try to get all the puzzles on level 1 done, at least, and maybe some of level 2, before we jump a new game into that time slot. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But for now, though, I'm going to send you off to Nico the Curious, a very good hecking bean, a very good cat, playing some Astroneer with, I think they're Polycool, or their friends are Polycool. I don't remember which. Other good beans. They're playing. Nico is playing Astroneer with other good beans. But I will hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you all when I see you. Bye now. Hearts and squeaks off to Nico. Bye now. Bye. Bye.